Ladies and gentlemen, Lamine Yamal is officially back to his best, and it is the most terrifying thing in football right now. And I'm gonna tell you why not only I should be terrified, but why you should be terrified as well. Because me personally, I am bricking it at the thought of facing this guy in the Champions League semi-finals, because I don't even want to imagine what this guy is gonna do to our defense. But I'm also saying anybody from England, anybody around the world that isn't from Spain or doesn't support Barcelona should be absolutely terrified of this bloke, because we're gonna have to all face him in the World Cup. You're telling me we have to witness him score 8 hat-tricks in his opening game of the World Cup against Cape Verde? It's long for everyone, man. We all need to start making prayers that this guy doesn't absolutely tear every single team in the World Cup to shreds. But it is a nice switch up, because recently he's been making headlines for the worst reasons known to man. Obviously he had the whole dwarf scandal in the summer, and then he had like some pubic issues when the season started. I don't know what this guy was doing in his parties during the summer, and then for some reason the whole world decided to get overly involved in the private life of an 18-year-old and decide who he can and cannot date. It was the most parasocial thing I think I've ever seen in football. But now he's gonna pay us all back for all the criticism, all the jokes we made about the dwarfs, all the comments we made about who he was dating. He's paying us back tenfold in the season, in the Champions League and in the World Cup. I'm telling you, bro, we better start repenting now, because the performances I've been seeing this guy drop recently, generational. He's creating art on that pitch every time he steps out there. Obviously he had his first career hat-trick against Villarreal where he scored an absolute banger, and that's when I knew, yo, this guy, he's back, bro. And it's long for everyone. I'm gonna start crying as an Arsenal fan. You're telling me we have to watch Saka and Madueke struggle to beat their man and hobble off the pitch every single time they play, and Barcelona fans get to appreciate Lamine Yamal? Yeah, man, football is cruel sometimes. Then he had the game against Atletico where he had the whole defense Ice Spice twerking for him for the whole 90 minutes. Obviously that result didn't go their way, but that doesn't take away from his individual performance. That is genuinely one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life, ever, from any player. And then most recently scoring the winner against Athletic Bilbao, where this guy was being ganged up on like a Bonnie Blue shoe. It was peak for him, bro. You're telling me there's 4 guys on him at once? How is this even fair, bro? But that picture of him standing with 4 people around him, hang it up in the Louvre, bro. He's moving like Hendrick, how he was moving, creating all those iconic pictures, but he's actually doing stuff on the pitch as well, unlike Hendrick. And then all that to say, in 2036 this guy's gonna be 28, so he's not even 20, bro. This guy hasn't even finished his A-levels. You're telling me this guy right now realistically should be revising for his A-levels? Maybe he's doing econ, maybe he's doing psychology. I don't know what subjects this guy would do, but instead he's tearing up teams in the Champions League every single week and tearing up teams in Spain every single week. It's long, bro. If life is not fair, bro, for this character, for this talent to be spawned in at Barcelona, no investment made, and we're paying bloody 50 million for Madueke, 30 million for Trossard, 60 million for Gyökeres. Like I said, football is a cruel sport, and I don't even want to imagine the stat padding session he's gonna do in those first 2 games of the World Cup, bro. Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, he's getting any visa that he wanted from Saudi to maybe go perform his Umrah revoked, because he's gonna score about 7 goals in the first 15 minutes against them, and they're gonna hate him for all eternity. But I'm excited to see him do another Champions League run like he did last season, and hopefully stop at the semi-finals again, because obviously they'll hopefully play Arsenal, and let's hope that we can get through them. But in the meantime, he's got Newcastle to tear up. I don't even want to imagine what True Geordie is going to be reacting when he's seeing Lamine Yamal rip Dan Burn and Livramento and Lewis Hall for the 17th time in the same game. This guy is going to cause more pain to Newcastle fans than Alexander Isak did in the summer. And at this rate, who's stopping him from winning the Ballon d'Or? Because if you just watch him, he's clearly the best player in the world. And people last season were saying, oh, he can't win the Ballon d'Or because his numbers weren't good enough. Well, his numbers are really picking up this season. He's got 14 goals, 9 assists in 23 games, and he's got 3 goals, 3 assists in the Champions League this season. So realistically, you really cannot say that the numbers will hold him back this season. If he keeps playing this way, who's to say that he won't win a Ballon d'Or? But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have time for today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.